Essentially, it's a tool that allows us to understand the impact on our resources of interventions in service pathways, and it understands that from a mitigated and an unmitigated perspective. So unmitigated would be, if we do nothing, what will be the consumption of our resources in a particular service area? If we do something, how does that essentially bend the demand curve for those resources after playing through the intervention into that pathway? We found it very difficult to understand the impact on our resources of doing things, with patients differently to how we're doing things at the minute. What the PHM projections tool allows us to do is automate that process, so we can find that out very quickly. We can also model through various scenarios at pace. So if we want to try the impact of one intervention, we can do that and then play through different interventions all simultaneously to get a different understanding of the outcome and impact of those interventions. So, and that's it takes us considerably further away from where we've ever been before. So it's quite groundbreaking in some regards for us to be able to understand that at pace through an automated model that anybody can use basically. The way it's helped me as a finance professional is I can now understand the long-term impact of doing nothing. So I can present that back to the system to say, if we don't make interventions in these pathways, this is the financial implication for us as a system. And that obviously we can frame that in terms of the final levels of finance expenditure that we'll incur over and above what we anticipate receiving. So it will create that financial pressure. It also, more importantly, helps me understand the financial benefit associated with various impacts in interventions in patient pathways. So I can then make a judgment as to which one is most financially beneficial in terms of reducing that future growth in financial impact and impact on our resources. And I can understand a lot better and much more quickly in order to help colleagues understand and inform colleagues about which is the best solution to adopt. It will allow us to make decisions which, one, spends the taxpayers' money better, so we will have a better understanding of the improvement in patient outcomes as associated with various interventions that we'll make. So from a taxpayer equity point of view, it's more financially advantageous. But more importantly, it will allow us to ultimately understand which are the most financially beneficial and returns from a patient outcome perspective as well. So if we invest £1 of resource in one particular area, we can make comparisons as to what £1 of resource in an alternative intervention would generate as well. That allows us to move our resources around in a more effective way so that we are getting the best outcomes for patients and we understand where our investments are better spent. And then ultimately, what I would say is, you package that all together, you are able to make a much better offering to your public in terms of use of resources and the outcomes that they get as a public in terms of health outcomes, because they are assured that we are able to spend our money in a much more financially effective and in a much more efficient way in terms of improving patient outcomes.